Hello again. My name is Katerina, and I am majoring in criminology and minoring in communications. So today I want to talk about the video that I chose, which is Where is the Love by the Black Eyed Peas, and it features Justin Timberlake, and it was released in 2003. This video addresses violence, prejudice, media manipulation, and global injustice, calling for unity and understanding. It directly connects to Global Goal 16, which promotes peace, justice, and strong institutions by asking society to reflect on its values and actions. So, the first term that I chose for this is listening, which is in chapter 6, page 150. And the textbook defines it as listening is the active process of making meaning out of another person's spoken words. And the example that it uses is the textbook explains that unlike hearing, which is passive, listening is intentional and requires effort. It involves mentally processing spoken words to understand someone's message. And I just like to point out that I think that's so cool that they mention that listening is different than hearing. To listen, to really focus and listen to somebody, you have to stop and process everything the person says. And that's like truly listening. You're not just hearing what someone has to say, you're attentively listening, which I just think is really cool. So in the video, at the 120, 130 mark, the lyric, "Can you practice what you preach, and would you turn the other cheek?" calls out hypocrisy and encourages self-reflection. So I think that this lyric invites people to not just passively hear these messages, but truly listen and reflect on their own behavior. Listening in this way is crucial for peace bringing because it fosters empathy, accountability, and deeper understanding, qualities needed to strengthen communities and institutions. So I thought that was really fun. But understanding a message takes more than just listening. It also depends on how we interpret it, which is why my second term that I chose is interpretation. So this is also found chapter 6, page 157. The textbook defines interpretation as interpretation is the process of assigning meaning to information that has been selected for attention and organized. So the example that the book uses, it illustrates this by showing how someone's words can have different meanings depending on tone, facial expressions, and context. Like interpreting "it's a beautiful day outside" as either sincere or sarcastic. So I think that's just also really cool because I just feel like, again, I mentioned this a little bit too in the last video, but how someone says something, the facial, what their face says while they're saying something, all of that goes into how someone's going to interpret what you have to say. So if I'm saying, something with more of a straight face or, just a straight face, someone knows that I'm being serious, even though the words that I'm saying can be very exciting words. It truly depends on my tone and my facial expressions, all that kind of stuff, which is just so beyond fascinating, but that's a whole different thing. But the example that I used in the video is around the 240, 255 minute mark. The lyrics, "Wrong information always shown by the media," highlights the role of disordered and misleading narratives in shaping public understanding. And so this shows how poor interpretation of media messages can breed misinformation and distrust, threatening peace and stability. Accurately interpreting the world around us, especially in political and media contexts, is essential for holding systems accountable and creating a more just society. So this, in its own, is a whole also different thing, not just in the video, but also in the world that we're in today. There's just a lot of misinformation and a lot of misleading, and things can just get so warped, and it just spreads so much misinformation. So I just think it's really important that we're always making sure that we're reading everything through and understanding what we're reading, and understanding sources and all that kind of stuff, so that we don't get misled and misinformed from things that are trying to mislead us or So listening and interpreting help us understand the world, but building peace also relies on human connections, which is why my third term is interpersonal action. So interpersonal action is found in chapter 7, page 186, and the book defines it as interpersonal action is the force that draws people together. And the example that they use is the textbook breaks down attraction into types like physical, social, and task attraction, each describing different ways we connect with other emotionally or functionally. So in the video, the repeated chorus, "Where is the love?" emotionally resonates with a broad audience and creates a shared sense of grief, concern, and hope. This powerful chorus draws people together through emotional connection and shared values. It builds a sense of solidarity that is vital for achieving the Global Goal 16, because social change often begins with empathy and unity among individuals. So this activity really changed how I see media, especially even simple media like music videos, not just news and articles and that kind of stuff. I used to think that they were just for entertainment, but now I realize that they can powerfully influence how people think about justice, peace, and truth. And if I were to design a message, or if I were designing a message to support Global Goal 16, I'd focus on the communication strategy of interpretation. Misinterpreting or misrepresenting messages causes division and distrust, but accurate, thoughtful interpretation brings clarity and supports accountability, which are essential for justice and peace. So yeah, I thought that was a really interesting assignment. Again, I'm always really excited to kind of like learn the different ways that people interpret and communicate things, and listen and all that kind of stuff. So these have just been really great activities to kind of like open my eyes to that. I would have never thought of a music video as a form of media and a form of getting information out there. But yeah, now because of this, I will definitely start reading more into it. But yeah,